welcome back to my channel. This your girl Lemmy here, back with another reading. All right, so let's get real serious about this full moon, super moon, blue moon that is coming August 30th, 31st in the sign of Pisces. So right when I start talking, right, basically the moon is going to be with Saturn. And as we know, Saturn and the moon have a special relationship. And to me, it always feels like Saturn has moved away, but the moon is still there to transmit whatever Saturn needs from Earth. So even though Saturn has been about a real distant planet that we're aware of, I always felt like Saturn and the moon, being that they cycles are similar, but the moon goes through it much faster, which we can reason to understand, like that's why men take longer to mature than women, or certain parts of our lives take much more longer to mature than the emotional parts, and vice versa, however you want to put it. But they both have similar cycles related to the 28-29 day rule. And they're both a governing body. They're both a governing, star or energy. So for both of them to kind of come together during this full moon before we head into eclipse season during Libra season, it's a nice purge, a good release, okay? It could be a deep emotional release, a deep sexual release we may get to experience during this full moon transit. And it will be at 7 degrees Pisces, and it's going to hit in conjunct Saturn before it goes 100% full with the opposition to the sun in Virgo. But 7 is a number of, it is a Libra degree, 7. So, of course, it's going to relate to things being righted, wrongs being righted, things being put back into perspective, back into balance. The 8 of Cups is the card in tarot that correlates with the Saturn in Pisces energy. So again, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, that is a card that symbolizes, yes, we're walking away from things that we've put our energy into, especially emotional energy into. We had hopes for, we had dreams for, we've had wishes about fulfilling, but it hasn't been fulfilled just yet because there's still a journey that we have to take alone to get that 9th cup, which segues into, contentment, being in a space of serene and not overindulging, so we can gain the 10th, right? So with this 8 of Cups, in the traditional tarot too, it shows an eclipse moon in the picture. And we know that, the moon is said to be the ruler with Cancer, where Saturn is Capricorn, and they're polar opposites. However, the moon also correlates with Pisces energy as well, and mostly due to the fact that it is a super sensitive and intuitive energy by itself. And Pisces is the entire ocean, and we do have the 7 seas, right? But it's like the entire top portion and the bottom portion, and it goes into all the way into the unknown abyss that even as human experiences have taught us, they still don't know all the information that is within the realms of the water, just like they don't know all the information that are in the realms of what's above us, right? So this is a full moon where we get to really explore, through our releases, be it emotional or if you have a certain way you like to sift through your emotions, definitely do so responsibly, healthily. But this is definitely a moon we're all going to feel very, very sensitive to things that maybe we've been in denial about, things that we wanted to, you know, skate around, but we can't skate around it anymore. Things that we've ignored because we're still holding out hope for something, but at this point it's just time to release and let go and be open to receiving what actually is, you know, appropriate or what's meant for you. So I was sitting here trying to figure out what exactly the deck that I'm going to use, and it's going to be a few, so I'm just going to start with this one, the Beyond Lemurian deck. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the general reading. If you are new or returning, welcome to my channel. Okay, this is your girl Lemon here. The channel is I Am Reminiscent. Okay, if you are looking for a more personal message or a personal reading, whether tarot or astrology, or if you would like any insight into, you know, what are some good moon magic techniques you can use, you can definitely find my link in the description box below. It will be there for you to, you know, purchase what type of reading you want, and then we can go into, you know, setting a date and time for you that would be best. Okay. I advise you, and not advise you, but yeah, I do advise you to also utilize my email if you would like to set up a personal reading as well. If you would like to, you know, just have some discussions and whatnot. Also, when it comes to my channel, I definitely appreciate you being present. I appreciate the views being increased. I also appreciate you not leaving this video until you hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Make sure you hit the bell for any new videos that are set to drop. You'll be the first to know. Please be sure to leave a comment below should this video resonate with you in a very positive way. All good vibes here, okay? So let's get into it. Let's go ahead and, you know, get some guidance from our ascended masters, our ascended ancestors, who are here to help us through this transition of release, emotional release. And sometimes we could actually and honestly be grieving a lot, but we just don't know how to deal with the grief or the loss, because Pisces or 12th house Neptune energy do represent loss and illusions of what's actually being lost or gained. Manipulation, deceit can definitely take place at this time as well. But with the Virgo energy at play, there's a bit of a balance between what's real and what's not. So honestly, trying to be perfect or create some type of perfectionist type of way of handling situations, there isn't one. There isn't one. So when you remove the fact that nothing is perfect and it is what it is, what do you have left? So what we're being transformed by life force energy. Okay, what's supporting this transformation is from the ethers, the energy from above, right? Our issue here is we got Star Seer, and then we got the Star Seed Elemental as the spiritual lesson. It's all about the shadow, right? And then we got Evolution as our outcome message. And we have Luminescence, which also talks about being one with our shadow energy. All right, so let's bring these messages from upon high and from the ethers and make it processable through our 3D experience. So let's bring it down. So first up we have here is the 7 to 34 with the life force energy. That's what's being transformed at this time. We have the 2 dolphins here. We have the encoding here. This artist is amazing. Izzy, thank you so much for gracing us with this energy that you transcribe into these beautiful visuals and illustrations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Beyond Lemuria Oracle cards. If you need them or want them, I advise you, if you're drawn, please purchase, okay? So life force energy. This is what's being transformed at this time. There is going to be a lot of releasing or giving up. So this has the potential of us feeling drained. This has the potential of us being tired, feeling overwhelmed, looking for an escape or a release, okay? And it's imperative that you listen to that inclination. You listen to that voice that wants to have some type of peace be cemented as soon as possible, because it's for a reason, right? It's for a reason. So with this life force energy here being the trigger that's going to transform us, and like I said, that number 7 degree is about balance, right? So this is what's being balanced, is our life force energy. We need to come and have that kind of scale tipped a bit with Mars being in Libra. We're going to have some support here with the energy. All right, let's get one more for here though. But yeah, the life force energy is going to be, I feel like on a planetary level, most definitely we're going to see an evening out of the energy. A lot of people are being programmed or being pushed with all these storylines and variables about, you know, especially in the US, about how the world is in a disarray, or things are just so terrible and bad and this and that. And then at the same time being pushed into buy this, buy that, buy this, spend money, 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 money. And at the same time, it's like, okay, but where's the middle ground? Where's the peace? Okay, how do you correlate constantly pushing negativity in a country of people, I use that term loosely, where, you know, a lot of people are stressed. A lot of people are looking for grounding. A lot of people are looking for love, to be present. And the one thing that a lot of people across this land can definitely correlate and understand is being forced into situations that don't resonate with them at all, but because of the pressures of maintaining a livelihood, we've subjected ourselves and denied our truths in order to keep our heads above water, out of fear of either looking a certain way, which is an illusion, Pisces, right? Or feeling badly about something that you didn't even create, you know, to be this way. Again, another illusion, Pisces, right? So with the life force energy here, we have opportunity for that to be reconstructed, rebalancing, by releasing those pent up energies, releasing those lingering emotions that we've been dragging on for a long time, especially since the last couple of years, where we just feel like we're not being heard, we're not being, you know, taken well care of. We don't feel the nurturing or the nourishment that needs to come in to replace all the damage that has been done to us on so many different levels. So spiritually, we're getting this cleanse. Yes, take time to rest and recuperate rather than continuing your striving, okay? We have the goose here, all right? So again, this is going to be a time or a week or even 2 weeks where we really just need to quietly assess and allow those emotions to rise to the surface, and don't try to stuff it down or feel like, you know, well, I'm too strong for this, or I'm too, you know, focused for this. I'm too, you know, serious about my life. You're not too anything. You're not too anything, okay? And the thing about having this Virgo axis is that we get to balance, like, yes, our routines are important. They play a big role in, you know, the type of thoughts that we have running around in our head. That plays a big role in Pisces, what we choose to believe in. And sometimes the thoughts we have can, you know, have conflicts with where we place our faith and what type of faith we want to develop with ourselves, which is Sagittarius. So however, you know, what you choose to learn, Gemini, can be a segue into developing what's best for me. What's the best care and cooperation that I could give my mind, body, and soul together? And what practical Virgo ways can I implement this into my day to day, so that my spirit, my soul connection to the all Pisces energy, the cosmic force that keeps everything in balance, whether you want to call it God, source, universe, whatever terminology you would like to use for it, you have a straight flow, a waterfall, deep flow of constant insight, energy, intuitive connection. So yes, you're going to have moments where, you know, Virgo, where it's easy to point out all the negatives and what you don't want. But the other side to that, Pisces, is to look at the higher meaning of it all. And that what gives you back to the joy, and it helps you flush out all the negativity. So you go through the dark fish moment, and then you come to the light fish moment, okay? Yin and yang. So this is definitely a good time to rest and recuperate, to build those energy reserves back up after you've flushed out everything that's no longer serving you. So let's get into this ether, the seamless, unspeakable. 11, we have elk. The elk, very strong energy in the rooms, right? Stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with respect you deserve. Okay, so the ethers, the higher heavens, okay, the energy from high above, which is also below, okay, is giving us a message to stand tall when it comes to supporting this rest and recuperation. So that can definitely mean you telling someone no. You're saying no, you can't do this. Or maybe your body is telling you no. Maybe your intuition is telling you to stop, pause for a second. But the ego or the logistical or the logical mind wants to keep going, because it's like, well, I have to do this and I have to do that. And who else is going to do it? Nobody else is going to do it. I have to do it. And it's like, okay, that may be true, but you still require some type of rest and recuperation. Even if you have to schedule it like you can schedule everything else, there has to, you know, be a point in time where you have to say no and stop and breathe and ground. Check in with your 5 senses, okay? That's one of the techniques that we choose to share to help us, you know, alleviate some of the anxiety or stressors that we have, is to check in with the body. What does the body need? What is the body telling you it wants? Okay? Doing things to get you out of your mind and into your heart space. And sometimes that does require you to tell the truth about what it is that you're really going through, and summon it all up in a simple, no, I can't do this right now, I need rest. Or just simply saying no, because that's a complete answer. No is a complete statement. It does not require any further explanation. And when you respect yourself, you respect your time, your energy, and most definitely respect your body, because you only get one per lifetime, okay? Yes, it can cause others to feel, you know, slighted and things of that nature. But again, that is all about illusion, Pisces energy. That's something you have no control over. Your delivery, you can control. But the reaction or the response that another person has or gives says more of them than it ever will of you. And that's how you make peace with yourself. This full moon has a way of revealing some deep-seated feelings and emotions, not only about you and how you deal with yourself, but your environment and vice versa as well, okay? So you may need to take a 5 when someone tells you how they really feel about you. You may have to take, you know, a couple days to yourself to recalibrate after the conversation you have, whether it's one of excitement and love and joy, or if it's one where it kind of broke your heart. You know what I'm saying? Always take time to just really revel in that energy, in that space, because it's you, it's coming from you, it's something you're connecting with, right? And then you can release it and let it go, because there's always going to be something else that comes right in this place. Water is an everlasting element. It's a part of everything that keeps us here, that keeps everything here. So we could never dismiss our feelings and emotions, okay? So the challenge here with Starseer, we have a 1. So this is 46 breaks down to a 10, instant manifestation, right? But to me, this is basically saying, especially with the wand and we have the body here, our higher selves, our over soul, our, you know, our higher mind has a way of guiding us when we are feeling lost in the dark, stuck, emotionally not well. Okay, Pisces has a way of feeling the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Pisces energy, or 12th house energy, does correlate with asylums, heavy drug use, abuse of drugs and alcohol. It also correlates with, you know, again, illusions, hallucinations, okay? Which is why it's a deeply psychic power or gift that can be misused and abused if we allow someone else to take control of our gifts and powers. Some people, you know, may not have the full knowledge, strength, and wisdom or courage that the younger generations have been taught to have through their living experiences. And this could definitely cause issues as well, where there's a disconnect between generations. But it's okay. It's okay. Those things, like everything, happens for a higher purpose, and sometimes we don't see or know what that reasoning is. You just have to trust. So we have chimpanzee. Use both your intuition and intellect to solve problems or get answers to your questions. Yes. So if you are able to recognize, even in your human experience, which is the intellect, right? That's the intellect side. You're able to recognize when something is right. You're trying to figure it out. It doesn't make sense. You still have an intuitive, unseen version of yourself that is beyond your human experience, that has all the information that you will ever need. And it's something that's a part of you, and it will never leave you, right? And the very definition of what that energy encompasses, or what it is in some type of detail or description, we always known it to be God, right? And if we are made in the image of God, are we not gods ourselves? Are we not copies? You know, like we have the DNA copy. We get some from mother, some from father, and we make it, okay? Right? So if we have a full understanding of that, the Virgo side is the intellect, right? The Pisces is the intuition. Those access of the 6th and the 12th house, what you do every day, will correlate to overall being a movie played with how you really see yourselves, ourselves, right? So we have to use these together. And I feel like the greatest issue with that is that we have, like I said, constantly being pushed agendas, you know, storylines, thought and feeling processes in social media, TV, movies, whatever, where we're put in this state of lack mentality of some sort. And we have you know, Jupiter in Taurus here, which is going to go retrograde on Monday, right? So it's like we're going to have to review all those experiences where we felt lack, where we didn't feel great enough, okay? And how we can turn that whole thing around by a shift in our thought process, our day-to-day schedules, and always making sure to include a spiritual routine in our daily rituals. That's how we keep that flow coming, okay? I know a lot of people who used to go to church, especially, you know, black churches and things like that. Like we would joke, and even comedians would joke about how long or how many days they would have to go to church and be there all the time. But it's like, that's literally work. That it takes work to stay connected to your spiritual self. It takes work to, you know, fight in this spiritual war. It takes work to do those things. However, you still have to be practical with it as well, right? So yes, you have your human, intellectual, logical experience going on, but you also have an intuitive, psychological piece that bridges these things together, that makes them balanced. So yes, your intuitive mind is going to tell you to do something that your logical mind does not understand, but you still follow forward. You still follow through, right? And then you start to see, oh, that's why I was guided to do this. And when we start to give more credit to that than trying to, you know, calculate everything first before we listen to our intuition, we can avoid a lot of unnecessary inferiority complexes that come from listening to outside voices. Okay, and I feel like Saturn is kind of like, get real with your dreams. Get real with the life that you hope to live, you feel or believe you should live. And understand how you're the one that's always responsible for that, regardless of who is in your environment. And it takes a lot of strength and courage, as well as being okay with being misunderstood, to move and go forth. So here, shadow, star seed, elemental, we have 45, which is a 9. Wisdom here, right? We have tiger. You're being called upon to provide leadership, so trust that you're capable of doing so. All right? So your shadow, or the dark fish, is never going to leave you. It's never going to go anywhere. It's always going to be present with you. The unseen part of you is always going to be a part of you. The part no one pays attention to, the part that feels ignored, the part that's misunderstood, the part that has so much to say that sometimes we don't even want to hear it. We don't even want to hear it. We want to just get on with it, right? But it's something about our shadow side that we really need to pay attention to, because it provides so much information, and it can even be correlated or related to our inner child. You know, that part of us never went anywhere. It's still there. Just like the previous lives that we lived are still present. Our energy is always here. It never leaves. So whatever is out of our awareness, it still matters, right? And because it still matters, it still has some quality of leadership, just as well as the seen part has a quality of leadership. And the divine feminine energy is the dark energy, is the negative energy. It doesn't mean evil and bad. It just means crude. It's the remnants, this right here. It starts the creative path, right? So we're in the state Pisces is the ending and the beginning. 12 is about completion, right? A whole cycle is being fulfilled. So this full moon is giving us insight into what cycle has been completed, that it's time to close that book and open a new book. Not a new chapter, a whole new book. We have a living library that is encoded in us that we can always send and receive information from. So when you're fully complete with a book, you don't have to go back and try to rewrite or anything. You can move on to the next book. Okay? So that part of you is calling upon you to provide leadership, so trust that you're capable of doing so. Your shadow side, your inner child, your creative energy that is ready for that new beginning is calling upon you to say, hey, yeah, this is over. I'm ready for something new. I'm open to receiving new ideas, new opportunities, new dreams, new hopes. You know, hope gets a bad rep of being some type of emptiness, just hot air, right? Okay. However, Pisces energy has everything to do with feeling, not necessarily seeing. So you're feeling the new page. You're feeling the new book. You're feeling the new road. You're feeling the new relationships. You're feeling the new business opportunities. You're feeling the newness that the divine has for you. Okay? And we're talking about your higher mind, the God that is you, the goddess that is you. It's telling you it's time for you to show up and open this new road, this new path. And it's nothing that we haven't done before already. So any roadblocks that you may have, allow the intuitive part of you to guide you and later assess with your logic, because you are born to lead yourself through this. Evolution is our outcome. It's a 6, all right? Condor, you're too enmeshed in this situation, so step back and get a bigger picture before any decisions or taking actions, okay? Pisces is a water energy. It's not fire, okay? Fire is all about that action, okay? All about that action. However, Pisces is a more, I don't want to say solemn because it sounds pretty sad, but it is an energy of, you know, being able to just be one with everything and just being in a complete acceptance and allowing the ocean to just flow and just surrendering. Just complete surrender to what is, okay? And being completely, you know, gone in that type of an energy can cause some people to lose their logic, Virgo, right? But you have to have moments where you allow yourself to just go there and let that happen. You know, being in a meditative state, allowing yourself this excess of joy and pain to liberate you, to free you, to disconnect you from the human experience for a little while, because it does get rough and rugged down here in this 3D. It's made to be that way for a reason. But allowing, at the same time, allowing yourself to go to a higher vibration, to live in a higher vibration while accepting the 3D can be a shitty, fucked up place. Creates balance. Okay? That's all we're looking for, some spiritual balance in our physical life, in our non-physical life, our metaphysical life. Metaphysical meaning it comes first. Emphasis on metaphysical being first. Your ancestral spirit guides are offering you guidance now, so pay close attention to the signs and omens from them. Right? Okay, so let's get some encouragement going on here. We gotta return it. Look, Look at that. Did I say waterfalls too? Don't go chasing waterfalls. You don't have to chase when you're attracting. Ooh, just all toed up. All toed up. Return to nature. Purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka. Shout out to Prince and Dave Chappelle, the Virgo himself. All right, so what else? Messages. We have forgiveness and study and learning came in the reverse. Oh no. These some really old cards. Okay. So we have return to nature, forgiveness, studying and learning. At the bottom, we have expanding your perspective, of course. So Jupiter is going to sextile this Pisces moon, which is going to allow us to get that last bit of, you know, grounding, pouring into the earth, our dreams, wishes, what we want to see fulfilled, okay? Being very childlike and being accepting of the mystery that is our source wisdom, allowing that shit to just be what it is. Like you just pouring your intention into, you know, the Milky Way, that you can't wait to have your new car. You can't wait to experience the joy of having a strong, loving family. You can't wait to experience the feeling of divinely guided true love. You can't wait to feel the joy and the fulfillment of a beautiful, tasty meal. Like, allow yourself to indulge in your imagination. That's how we connect to the higher up, okay? The ether. Put some respect on your name, on your energy, on yourself. You deserve it, right? Like we said, the 3D ain't no hope, okay? All right? We need strong defenses. We need strong, long reserves. And that comes from the unseen, not what is seen. So return to nature. Your nature is that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. Forgive yourself for the moments where you were so caught up in your physical, your intellect, and you ignored the emotional, you ignored your intuition. Forgive yourself for that. But pay attention, study, and learn how you can reconnect to your nature. That's what's going to help you expand your perspective, okay? So this was a general message for all. If this resonated for you, great. Please make sure again to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below should any positive messages from this reading jump out to you and resonate with you, on a higher vibrational level. I urge us all during this week and the weeks leading up to our new moon to take it slow, be more observant, don't rush into decision making. Allow the energy to guide you, and then utilize the logic that was gifted to you as a being living in a 3D reality as well as the other realms. We are multidimensional. Don't forget that. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this message found you well. And again, peace, love.